this on television. Why not? Because they're scared. Welcome to the March of Freedom. Not too much left, so I gotta drink it sparingly.
My body and my mind were starting to shut down on me. The tribulations of the road were starting to take their toll on me, but there was no turning back now. My only option was to venture onward into the unknown. I was at the mercy of nature, and despite taking a couple of well-needed breaks to refuel, I was running dangerously low on water, and my body was feeling the early signs of heat stroke.
Transport trucks keep blowing my hat off. I gotta use the phone to keep it on my head. I got this hat in Texas. Another crazy thing about walking down the highway in the day is there's way more traffic. So I gotta walk on the shoulder, and it's all crushed rock. And the road is much smoother. I'm getting all sorts of big rocks on, like stepping on them. That's what's kind of damaging my feet a bit. I mean, pavement's much more comfortable to walk on. Another road. Seen lots of roadkill on this highway. I seen a wolf back there, a beaver, a bunch of birds, tons of little birds, all sorts of things. This raccoon, smaller ones I couldn't identify, lots of snakes too. Pretty crazy how much wildlife gets killed from our highways, for sure. And look, this is the reason. No guardrails. So wildlife can just run out on the highway and get you. Pretty crazy. All for a profit. They won't build them because they say it's going to cost too much money. What's money? Paper. What's more important, paper or guardrails to protect wildlife? You tell me.
By the time I passed Mark's Day, the sprinkles of rain from the cloud cover above had stopped, and the sun was beating down on me on the highway. My body temperature was rising steadily, and I was not able to record any videos because my iPhone overheated in my pocket. I was running extremely low on water, and I was forced to take more frequent and lengthy breaks on the side of the Trans-Canada Highway, where I felt like an ant under a magnifying glass. The day before I left on the March of Freedom was the hottest day in Sudbury that summer. It was very hot, and it was just starting to come down the temperature because of the cloud cover and the rain, the storms that were about to hit the area.
Definitely time for another break. I'm sweating like crazy. It's super hot out here. I don't even know how hot it is today. But it was raining a bit earlier when I was picking blueberries, but now it's the cloud cover has moved. The sun's out. It was a while earlier for sure, back in Mark's Day. And that's been, these last 10 kilometers have been the hardest so far out of all of them. I don't know why this tent is getting me. It's probably the heat and the heat in my feet. My feet are blistered pretty bad right now too. They're probably maybe even bloody a bit on some spots because they're pretty raw. I just wanted to give her. But this heat is pretty nuts.
From where I took a rest on the highway, Hager was only, I would say, about a kilometer away. And walking that 9 kilometers from Mark's Day to Hager felt like I walked 50 kilometers easily. My body was so sore. My feet were really, really sore. I was out of breath. I was feeling the signs of heat stroke, definitely. I was stumbling my words. I was forgetting the most simple things that I would never normally forget, like the day I left on the March of Freedom, which was only the day prior, but in my journal I was trying to remember what date it was so that I could write down what happened the day before. And I mean, I couldn't even remember what date it was. And there was also when Kevin and Cassandra stopped on the highway, and she told me that she read on Kevin's Facebook profile that I was doing the March of Freedom. I couldn't put 2 and 2 together. I mean, I even asked her, I'm like, Kevin who? And she's like, my husband. And she was kind of weirded out by that, I guess, because my mind was just slipping away. I forgot the date that I left. That's how delusional I'm getting. I forgot the date that I left. I was writing in my journal at a rest area back there, this picnic one, and yeah, I forgot what day it was that I left, and it was only yesterday. I've been drinking this water for the last, I'd say 6 kilometers, and it's warm, and it's actually warming my insides up, which is not good, but at least it's water. I gotta keep drinking it no matter what. On the side of the highway, my body felt like it was shutting down. I had to drink lots of fluids, but I only had a tiny bit left in the bottle. And from walking with it on the highway, on the side of my backpack, it was heating up. It was pretty much boiling in the side of the backpack. I don't know how much more I could walk, and I was hoping to hit Sturgeon Falls today, but I'm feeling really delusional. I don't got a medic on hand or anything like that, so if anything does happen to me, someone will drive by and see a body on the side of the road. I won't hitchhike. I won't stick my thumb out because I said I was going to walk across the major the highways that I'm allowed to without having any problems. But I don't know. I might have to take a ride here and there when I'm in a city, obviously, or if there's an emergency or something, you know what I mean, or if I get I can't walk anymore, can't move my feet. Whatever happens. I'm gonna need to get a ride somewhere. So those are the circumstances that I'd probably take a ride in. I just want to prove to people that I can do this. After a good 20-minute break and plenty of motivational thoughts and inspiration, I picked myself up, threw on the backpack, and continued onward to Hager. I knew it wasn't much further ahead, and I knew they had a store where I could rest for an extended period of time, get some fluids in me, and restock on liquids for the remainder of the day's walk. I had slowed to a near crawl because of the massive pain in my feet, and I could feel that there was plenty of blisters well formed from nearly 15 hours of straight highway walking. Well, I made it to Hager. I'm at the chip stand, the Hager General Store. It's backwards because I got it reversed. But yeah, I made it here, and it was a brutal walk, that's for sure. That's all I know. Brutal. And I'll tell you right now, I see a sign over there, it says 50K. So I walked 50 kilometers. That first 50 kilometers was a daunting task. It was a huge relief to get off my feet and take the backpack off for a while, and after I sat down at the picnic table in front of the store, I did not get up for about 20 minutes or so. The pain in my legs and feet were pretty intense due to the lugging around a strenuous backpack on crushed gravel all morning. I needed to rest in Hager as much as possible because at that point I was in pretty rough shape. I'm going to take about 20-minute, half-hour break here to rest my legs because I can't take another step. My organs were overheating on the road. That was scary for sure. I felt some pains in my stomachs and in my organ. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and no camera. The camera wasn't working, so I couldn't record how I was feeling. So sorry about not documenting that. The phone's about to die pretty soon. The battery's croaked on it. It wasn't doing too bad earlier when I was at Justin's, but I think from the heat, from walking,
and the sweat from my body and all that stuff shut the phone down because it overheated in my pocket and shut off. So I gotta watch that. I gotta put it in a different place so that it doesn't get so warm. But yeah, I think it drained the battery too. At least it's working now though, for sure. But yeah, I'm just sitting here writing my journal about my day's events and what happened. And yeah, first 50K.
After I sat down in Hager and wrote in my diary for about 20 minutes or so, I rested my legs and I was stiff as a board. Just getting up from the table and walking into the store to get some food and a drink was a task. And people noticed the way I was walking. Actually, there was a lot of people looking at me and giving me some weird looks because of the way I was walking, and I guess because my appearance maybe, and like carrying a big backpack and just waltzing into town all stiff, walking like a zombie. There was definitely some people taking a look, but it had to be done. I had to eventually get up and from resting and to get some food and some energy.
I got some Gatorade from the store, and that's got electrolytes in it, so that's gonna help me out right now. I'm finally sitting down in Hager with the first meal that I've had since I left. Actually, I didn't even eat before I left. That's for a couple days, but this is the first meal I've had in about 3 days now. Poutine, Canada's national food.
At that point, I wasn't sure how long I was going to need to rest there, and it was raining on and off as well. There was definitely a storm coming in. I had some serious thinking to do in Hager in regards to figuring out a plan for the night. Because my legs and feet were in so much pain, I did not move for a couple of hours, allowing the muscles to relax and my body to rest as much as possible. While I was resting at the picnic table, I met a guy who lived across the road who knew about InfoWars and definitely had a lot to say about why I was doing the March of Freedom. We got talking for a while about Tesla technologies and much of the corruption going on in the world. It was a great conversation, although he did not want to be on camera, so I was not able to record the meeting. I also met the owners of the store and their son Eric, which definitely opened up some options for me, as they let me use their power to plug in and charge my iPhone from my laptop, since I did not have an adapter to plug it into the wall. They also offered me the backyard of the store to set up my tent under a tree. However, during my rest, I discovered that my tent was not waterproof, something I had not noticed prior, because I was in a hurry to get a tent and had very little money to be able to afford a decent one that was also lightweight. I knew it was going to storm pretty bad and needed shelter to be able to keep the equipment dry to prevent it from being damaged. The owners of the store also let me use their Wi-Fi after the store had closed, so I was able to update my Facebook and communicate with several people. Corey Wicklander, a friend of mine from high school who lived outside of Mark's Day, messaged me and offered to help me out by bringing me some supplies that I would likely need along the way, so I let him know where I was, and he said he would be on his way. While I was waiting for Corey to arrive, nature showed me how powerful it can be with determination for the second time that day.
A busy bee. That bee has a huge stack of pollen. He's trying to get it in that hole. It's so huge you can't fit it in, but he's been trying for like 2 minutes. That's crazy. He's back and forth. He ain't giving up. Oh, there ain't no nest in there.
While I was waiting, the owner's son, Eric, gave me a notebook to write in and keep notes along the way, and we talked for a bit while I rested my legs and feet. After Eric left, and a few rain clouds later, Corey and his wife Bobby arrived in Hager, and I felt a feeling of relief and excitement course through me. It was great to see people I knew, especially since it had been so long since I had seen them last.
My buddy Corey Wicklander showed up. From high school, actually. We've known each other since high school. We took the same bus when I lived in Mark's Day, and yeah, we graduated high school, the same high school.
By the time they arrived, I knew it was going to rain pretty hard, and I would have to seek shelter to avoid damaging the equipment and supplies. I was very grateful that Corey and Bobby arrived, because they knew much more than I did about outdoor survival tactics and other related subjects that could prove beneficial along the way. After being on the road all day and the experience that I suffered on the highway, it was a huge relief to see someone that I knew, especially since it had been a couple years since I had seen them last. They also brought me some supplies and food to help me out, as well as a backpack to see if it would help relieve some of the weight and strain from carrying everything over long distances. Proper weight distribution was a problem I had to address to avoid damaging myself further in the future.
This is what I've been carrying around. All the laptops around it right now. That's without the laptop right there, man. And the laptop weighs a lot too.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, it's, I'd say 50 pounds with the laptop.
Yeah, I guarantee.
From Sudbury to here. It was, that's one thing I really gotta worry about because that's what's making my legs sore.
After weighing out the pros and cons, I decided to keep the backpack that I had for the time being, mainly because it did not weigh as much and it had several pockets and zippers to compartmentalize supplies. It also provided a bit better protection against the elements, like rain and moisture.
So you can probably tell my thinking and my mind is kind of slow right now. Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, it's from the heat. Like, that's the problem. If I'm gonna be mentally alert, forgetting the day I left. What?
Yeah.
You should see the video of that. I'm just like, what's going on here?
No, it's gonna be cool to see everything together when you're all done everything.
My legs are shot. I'm gonna take a video later of my shoes, of my feet. They're blistered everywhere, I'm sure of it. There's blisters on blisters that are starting to form callus, and then I don't know what the next step after that is, you know what I mean? I don't know. I've never been there yet.
All this stuff that I was thinking we should have brought, I'm thinking of now. Because duct tape's good for throwing out blisters, and in case it gets the rubbing out of there.
Yeah, yeah.
Is the pink cam or stuff?
Is it in there?
Maybe.
What do? You duct tape your feet?
Well, your blisters, you can put duct tape over your blister after.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it just stops from the rubbing.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll go through the truck later too. Anything else I can find that can help you out. Like I said, don't want to load you down with too much crap.
Yeah, that's the thing. More stuff is more weight. I'm trying to like shed some weight on this actually, but I need everything in there pretty much. It's starting to rain right now. That's another thing too. My tent. I got the cheapest one I could on the backpack because I only had a bit of money. And the tent, I didn't know it at the time, but after I set it up and bought it all and was good to go, it says right in the instructions that it's not waterproof. But it was the cheapest one, and this thing weighs nothing. It weighs less than this. I tested it. This weighs less than the power, pretty much like feel like it.
I should have brought a tripod. I was thinking.
That's the main concern of mine, is not getting that damaged.
Yeah.
Like the equipment, the laptop, the phone, so I can document it all and keep it going. Can't get that damaged whatsoever. So if it rains, like, I'd have to find shelter immediately, and a lot of times there's nothing on the highway. There's no place for a long time. So if a storm, I've been watching the skies, seeing which way the clouds are moving, and kind of waiting. Like today I waited here for 4 hours, resting my legs, and I watched the clouds. I get rained on and off. But yeah, you gotta watch the clouds and make sure.
It was really great actually to see Corey and Bobby when they showed up. I would even call it fate, because they not only brought supplies that I would need in the next few days of the journey, but also they taught me a great deal in regards to survival techniques and little tips and tricks that I would use later on in the journey. And without seeing them, I likely wouldn't have thought of some of the things that they told me. As well as we got into discussing a lot of the reasons why I was doing the March of Freedom and some of the corruption going on in the world. So it was a really good conversation, and it was really great to see them.
So many things we could just eliminate and not have to pay for, but these government guys are like corporations do. They don't want to lose their money.
And on top of that, there's so many skills that we've lost. Like I was talking with the camerawoman on her way up. I was saying I would love to go off the grid, but I don't know how to, live without this, or I don't know this skill to do this. Like, sure, I hunt and everything, and I can skin an animal, but to preserve that properly so you can actually, survive on that for any amount of time.
We have the technology to run off like solar and all sorts of different technologies that don't even burn no fuels. But the government.
That's all about the freaking bottom line.
Yeah, money, right?
Yeah.
We talked for about an hour in Hager before it started to rain, and a decision on a plan of action had to be made. Since I was injured and a bad storm was upon us, Corey and Bobby offered to drive me to a town which had medical supplies, stores and amenities, as well as to provide a safe, dry place with Wi-Fi so I could get in touch with my family and friends to let them know I was alright. We didn't know it at the time, but actually there was a lot of storms about to hit the province from the time that I left on the March of Freedom until the coming days ahead. the storm that was actually hitting Hager was a pretty big storm front that came in from southern Ontario, and there was also a tornado as well as a state of emergency declared just east of where I was in Hager, and that was the next day. So there was definitely a lot of huge storms and tornadoes that were hitting. In fact, the day that I was in Hager, there was also tornado warnings for Ottawa as well as southern Ontario. There was a massive cluster of tornadoes and thunderstorms that were coming through the province. So that was pretty intense, and we knew there was a big storm and stuff like that, but we didn't know just how big it was and how long it was going to be. And because I didn't have a waterproof tent as well as some supplies, and I was injured and I was in the middle of nowhere. I mean, Hager, anybody who's been through that area, going past Hager towards West Nipissing, Sturgeon Falls, and North Bay, there's not a lot of stuff there.
There's a big storm coming. It's raining out there now. Actually, it's thundering and lightning like crazy. My tent isn't waterproof, so if I'm in the tent and it gets soaked, so does the laptop and all the equipment that I need to record and document the journey. When I was in Hager, I had to take about a 4-hour break in Hager, because when I got there my legs were dead. They're still dead now. I can barely walk. Like, seriously, my knees are shot. I got blisters all over. My feet are killing me. And yeah, they offered to get a room for me, and found a really good deal on a room in Sturgeon Falls, actually, which is a bit up the road along the way.
Moulin Rouge.
Sturgeon Falls.
In Sturgeon Falls.
I didn't hitchhike, but they did offer a ride to get me somewhere to help me, so I didn't have to walk, because I couldn't walk, and if I got stuck out in the rain, it would destroy the whole operation. If I got that laptop wet or anything like that, it wouldn't be good. I'd have to call it quits and walk home almost, because I wouldn't be able to document anything. So you guys are lifesavers.
It was very important to keep going, and it was a hard decision to make, to take a ride, because I wanted to try to walk it as much as I could, but due to the weather threatening to, soak everything I had, and the injuries I had, and not sleeping for all those days, it definitely was all adding up. And when Corey and Bobby offered to give me a ride up the highway to find somewhere dry and safe, I definitely took that offer at that time.
This is just the start of the journey too.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just the beginning. I got a long way to go.
But it's probably gonna get a lot easier.
Yeah, you gotta break it in. I barely slept for like 5 days, barely ate anything, so my energy levels were really low. This is real, this is reality stuff here. Like, I'm not, there's no film crews, there's no staging or anything like that. I mean, I plan to walk the entire highway to North Bay, but when my health is at stake, I'm not gonna kill myself. I don't want to die. I want to return home to my family and get it done. So there comes a time when you gotta say, okay, you need a break, and with the weather like this, can't do it. Can't sleep outside in this weather.
Yeah.
Doing everything. We're having a drink.
Redneck approved.
Alright, let's take a look at my feet. Yeah, taking care of business.
Yeah.
Look at this. My ankle is swollen to the outside of my shoes, and when I left, these shoes were like not big or nothing, but they were definitely not that tight. So that means that my whole foot is swollen around the ankles, and I actually fell off a cliff once and damaged this ankle. Like, I didn't break it or anything, but the muscles got torn up in there. So I'm susceptible to more damage if I put a lot of pressure on it. But yeah, that's tight.
I'd be untied sure.
Yeah, I don't even think I can get it off without untying. Yes, gonna loosen it up. Oh yeah, it's sliding over blisters big time. Oh, here we go, blood. You guys ready for that?
Oh.
That's disgusting.
Pure swollen, my whole foot. And there's chunks of flesh stuck to my sock.
That's
Blood.
an awesome blister.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a blister on a blister, and it's all bloody.
With more blisters around it.
I can barely lift my leg up.
You stick this one in there.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Sorry, that's my
sting.
wife being a nurse.
It's cool though. Oh yeah, it's rubbing on a blister on the inside right here.
Yeah.
Massive on there. I can feel it. This is 50 kilometers. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you can get right in there, but look, when I peel the sock back, look at this. The skin's stuck to the sock, chunks are flaking off.
Mental note, next time wear white socks.
Brutal. Skin chunks on the sock, there's blood in there. Big blister right on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna pop soon. That's huge. It's like from here to here. And it's swollen, like big time. It's swollen there. But
Yeah.
even though I got blisters right here and there's blood and whatever, I don't care. I can't stop. I gotta keep going. And I will. Once I get my feet feeling better. I think after I sleep, it'll calm my muscles and relax my feet. But those are some big blisters there.
You're not gonna like me after. We're gonna be alcohol swabbing those.
Oh yeah, alcohol swabs. I'm glad you're here. That's a burn.
I don't want you to get an infection on the first leg of your trip.
Yeah, it might happen, right?
Okay, well, I'm gonna shut this off. I'll go grab that first aid kit and we'll see what we can do.
After I thoroughly soaked my feet, Bobby helped me clean the wounds by disinfecting them. I was extremely grateful that Corey and Bobby were able to help me get off my feet for the night, because if I had kept on walking, I could not imagine the shape I would have been in. Without their help, things would have turned out very differently, especially with what was to come on the horizon.
Yeah, so another, we just updated the old backpacking kit. Now he's included a first aid kit
Yeah.
for his feet troubles. And there's super glue in there. You need super glue in every first aid kit. And this handy first aid book.
Yeah, teach you some tips. I'm glad you guys showed up though. You guys helped the day. You guys saved the day for sure.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been happy if you're out there camping right now.
Yeah, if I was out there camping, yeah. We wouldn't have even seen this actually.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have known that it was this bad.
I never checked my feet along the way because I had so much determination and motivation to make it as far as I could in that first stretch after leaving on the first night. I just kept going and going and going without taking any stops to check my feet, despite the fact that I could definitely feel pain in my ankles and my feet and my knees and my legs and my hips and everything essentially. The pain that I was feeling, I didn't let it stop me. I mean, I did take breaks along the way to rest my feet. That was definitely needed. But at the same time, despite the injuries that I had, I just kept walking on them. And after making it to Hager anyways, my feet were really, really damaged, really sore. And I knew that I had to get some rest, at least at that point.
I can't just go and be determined and just say, yeah, I can do this and just go. I gotta pace myself and definitely gotta pace myself if I'm gonna make it.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah. The alcohol swabs definitely burn those up.
Yeah, I think you got a little blood happening there too.
Yeah. I figured I'd have a bit of blood. I knew it. Like I felt the rawness almost. That's why when I got to Hager, I'm like, I'm not moving from this picnic table.
Yeah.
I just stayed there.
No kidding.
It was crazy.
That's insane. And probably pushing and doing 50 kilometers with no sleep and all that didn't help either.
Yeah. Well, it's the shoes. Like, I wore out the shoes. Check this out. I wore out this. These are Airwalks. I thought they'd be good. I've been wearing them for a long time now. And it wore out the inside here so much that there's plastic.
Oh.
And it's hard plastic. It's like Tupperware or like harder than Tupperware, I'd say. And yeah, it's on the inside of this shoe, and it's on the inside of this shoe. And there's like, it's like a knife. It actually curls out, so that's what's been cutting my ankles. So I gotta pad that. I gotta pad it up.
We'll see if maybe you can get a knife in there too to cut that out of there.
But yeah, like I gotta pad the whole heel on the shoes if I'm gonna be walking anymore. And also I gotta take by the damage done here, I gotta take a break now for a day or something.
knew they'd be brutal, but not that brutal.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
And there's more to come.
Yeah.
They haven't popped yet. You can see them all on the bottom there, but there's more to come, I'm sure.
Yeah, that one right there is that's gonna be a good one too.
After cleaning the wounds and seeing the damage done, I could not help but feel like I had been nearly defeated. I had only walked 50 kilometers and my shoes were ruined, cutting into my feet with every step that I took. Despite the injuries and setbacks, I remained determined and kept reminding myself of the reasons I was doing this. With all the suffering and inhumanity going on throughout the world, for all the people living paycheck to paycheck, raising children in a world where its own governments have murdered good people like Martin Luther King Jr. and John F. Kennedy, William Cooper, and many other individuals who strive to make changes in the world. Why do the nice guys finish last? Where does that leave the bad guys? Throughout history, there has been unjust inequality rampant within societies, and despite there being many people who have risen up to challenge this authority, we still live as slaves to our governments and to corporations. I knew I was doing this for all the right reasons.
You're nuts, man.
That's what they say. But really, those who let crimes against humanity go unpunished are nuts. Those who commit crimes against humanity are nuts. Those who have apathy, contagious apathy, are nuts. I don't have any of that. So, I don't know. I'm nuts, determined, and inspired, and I feel like I can do it still. Just gotta rest.
Yeah, a day off your feet, you should be alright.
The March of Freedom. Free my feet! I was in good company, and it helped lift my spirits and boost my morale. Corey and Bobby left me some food, drinks, and supplies before leaving, and I thanked them for all the help they had given me. After they left, I found myself in a similar state of mind just the night before, the night I left on the March of Freedom. Alone, with my thoughts and the memories of events transpired. What was to come, and what strategies would I need to implement to be able to complete this journey? Is what I'm doing going to make a difference, and would I even make it to the final destination? And then I thought of my family, and how they have always known their dad to be strong, and to never give up on something you put your mind to. There is a solution to every problem, and nothing can stop a determined mind. There was no turning back. Just woke up from the first sleep of the journey in Sturgeon Falls at the Moulin Rouge Hotel. Thanks to Corey and Bobby Wicklander for helping me out last night. I really appreciate that for sure. It was really good to get a solid rest so my muscles could tone down and relax, and I need to get my feet up to keep them elevated to reduce the swelling. And I got a shower here, so I'm going to take the first shower, clean myself up, and then I got to clean the wounds, make sure they're all clean, and then I'm going to start doing the journal, the daily journal for Facebook to keep everyone up to date. So yeah, it's good to be rested at least a little bit. Good morning. Reality was a rude awakening that morning. I knew that by 11 a.m. I would have to leave the room unless I paid for another night, so I wasted no time in getting everything done that I had to accomplish. There were a lot of issues that needed to be taken care of, like the injuries on my feet, finding shelter for the day, fixing or upgrading my footwear situation, as well as clean up and contact my wife to let her know that I was okay, safe and sound in Sturgeon Falls. I also had to keep hydrated and try to bring up my energy levels because even though I had finally slept for a few hours, I was still very mentally and physically tired from the first stretch of the journey. The sleep did, however, relax my muscles, so a lot of the aching in my legs and feet had passed. However, I could not so easily ignore the damage and open wounds on my feet. Well, here's the blister the morning after. It's definitely looking pretty grimy. There's a lot of pus on it. It's probably starting to get infected. So I'm gonna have to clean those up. Here's the other one. It's not as bad as the other one. The other one seems to be a bit more severe. But yeah, I'm gonna have to clean those up. Definitely keep my eye on them. I'm not gonna be walking with feet like that unless I know for sure that I can keep continuing without causing more damage to my ankles. So I'm gonna have to fix my shoes, rig them up so that there's no rubbing on the heels, so that it doesn't further damage the blisters. But first I'm gonna have a shower and clean them up, make sure that it's all clean, so that when I do apply the disinfectants and all that stuff, that it's clean in the area. So time for a shower. Get to clean up, wash all the sweat off my body, and it'll probably refresh me a lot as well. So the sleep in the shower is definitely going to make me feel energized and help me mentally and physically get prepared to hit the road again and keep on going on the journey.
After I had a shower, I had a chance to go on my Facebook and use the Wi-Fi at the motel room to get in touch with friends, as well as talk to Shannon. It was storming outside, actually pretty bad, so I was glad to have shelter, somewhere where I could assess the situation and figure out a game plan, because somebody took a picture of a funnel cloud that almost touched down, so there was some serious storms happening.
Well, it's still in Sturgeon Falls. It's almost 11 a.m. and as you can see, it's raining pretty good out there. It was actually raining a lot harder before, but yeah, I can't go out in this with the gear I have, otherwise I'll destroy the laptop and the backpack and all that stuff. So I gotta stay at this hotel today. I'm gonna have to pay for another room. I'm gonna have to use the money that I have. I have $80 that were given to me in donations. Actually, Corey and Bobby Wicklander gave me $25 last night, and my friend Alan St. Denis gave me $60 before I left. So I haven't spent that money yet. I knew I'd need it for something like this. New footwear is something I'm gonna need because the Airwalks that I have plastic liners on the heels, and the fabric wore out. It wore down from walking, so the plastic's exposed now, and it was cutting my skin like a knife because it curls. The plastic curls like that. It curled in like this at the top, so it was like definitely abrasive, cutting my ankle with the more walking I did, and I did 50 kilometers. I think my feet really started to wear down after about 30, and then I just kept trucking for another 20, and that's what did the damage. Hello. Yes.
73.45.
Okay. It's more than yesterday?
Sorry?
Is that more than yesterday?
No, it's same.
Same? Oh, okay, yeah, taxes and that, I think?
Yeah.
Okay. 73?
Yeah, 73.45.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to rain like this, so I can't really walk around in the rain because I have equipment, I have a laptop and all that stuff, so...
Oh, okay. I'll give you the change, okay?
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
I'll just come back and give
Thank you. Well, I had to pay for another day, $73, and I'm going to use today to get my foot fixed and try to get some new shoes, get everything going. I tried to film that actually, but I think the phone fell. It's hard to self-record everything, to document what's going on, but I try my best. But yeah, I think she's coming to bring me back the change, and then I'll have a lot less money. I think I'll have about $8 left. Let's see here, $5, and then she's bringing me back $6 and something cents, and then I think I have, yeah, I got about $3 and change in there. So still got a bit of money. I'm gonna use that to pay for antibiotics if I need it. I already have food, I already have water, I have some medical supplies to keep me going for minor things, and so I'm not lacking in that area. My main concern now is getting my foot fixed and getting some shoes, and obviously keeping dry so that I can keep the equipment intact so it doesn't get damaged on the way. Definitely looking forward to hitting the road again and keeping on this journey, but when stuff like this happens, you got to think of your health, and you got to think of sustaining yourself as you're going, and keeping yourself active and energized. Health and safety is number one on this journey, and I know my limits. I gotta stop when stuff like this happens. I gotta take a break and rest, however long it takes, But I have faith that everything's good to go, and I know a lot of people are rooting for me, which is what keeps me going. Definitely there's been an overwhelming amount of support from lots of people all over the world, and it's cool that people are supporting what I'm doing. Thank you very much. Well, there you have it. $6.55 change. So that should be enough to buy some medication for my foot for what I need to fix it. I'm guessing it's pretty bad right now. I'm going to show you guys my foot, give you guys an update. It's pretty infected for sure. I'll show you guys the wound so you guys can see the damage that's been done. So proper footwear is really important for sure. You don't want shoes that are going to break down on you when you go. I just wore the shoes that I had. I couldn't afford a pair when I left. So here's the damage. Definitely not going to be able to put my my shoes on over that one. That's pretty mangled for sure. So once I get that disinfected, I'm going to wrap it up so that it has padding in the shoe and it won't be rubbing and open up again. There we go. And it's time to add some alcohol swab to it. So it's going to hurt. Definitely some burning going on. The thing is, I can't put on my shoes because if I do, it's going to rip it up even more, and I need to walk to the Rexall pharmacy, which is down the road. But if I walk over there, I think it might even get more infected. I'm not going to give up. This isn't going to stop me. It's a minor scrape. Well, it's not a minor scrape, but it's a pretty bad blister, but it will heal, and I will continue.
I procrastinated in the hotel room for a couple of hours because of the wounds, and because I knew that in order for me to get out of the motel and walk around and be able to get what I need, I had to put my shoes on and I had to do some walking. And I networked on Facebook. I talked to a lot of friends. In fact, one of my friends donated me $100 to buy me a new pair of shoes because they knew the state that I was in and they saw pictures of the wounds as well. One of the friends that I spoke to, she lived in Sturgeon Falls. And she said that she was going to come by the hotel in a few hours and drop me off some medical supplies because I didn't have a lot of money. So she said she was going to be coming by a bit later to bring me some Band-Aids and some peroxide and some antibiotics and that kind of stuff. So I was really thankful to have good friends that were offering to help me out, especially with how damaged my feet were. And I didn't want to call it quits on the March of Freedom. I wanted to keep going, so it was very important to be able to make it to the next step, which would be North Bay.
Well, it's time to walk to the pharmacy. I can actually walk today. My knees and hips, legs feel fine. It's just the ankles that I need to fix up. They're not sore really, but there's definitely a wound there that needs to be fixed. So I'm gonna I gotta patch up my foot before I go. Make sure that I can put it in the shoes again because the shoes are all ripped up and there's plastic sticking out from the heel that's cutting my foot. But yeah, as you can see, I gotta wrap my foot right up with this medical fabric. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to tape it up to my foot so it doesn't move around, so that it stays covered. It's already kind of loose right now, but gotta do what I gotta do. And then I'm gonna stuff the shoes around the liner of the heel with toilet paper from the hotel here, so that it provides some padding for when I walk. I'm gonna stuff my shoes here with some toilet paper around the heels. The two top priorities I have are to heal the wound, get it stabilized, and get shoes, better shoes that are more comfortable, that aren't going to rub my feet raw. I obviously didn't have money to buy any good equipment or anything when I left, so that's one problem, but you got to do what you got to do for sure. It's crazy that both shoes were ripped up and the plastics just sticking out, ready to do some slicing.
do with what I got. Shoes are on, I'm ready to go. So I made it to the Rexall. There she be. Gotta go in there first and see if they'll let me film. If not, I'll let you guys know what they say, but it's worth a shot, right? So I just went into the Rexall and asked them if I could record, and they said that they'd have to pass it through management and it would be a long process, and he didn't seem like he was very interested to be on camera, so I just asked for his expert advice on what to do. I wanted to ask a pharmacist if there was something that I would need that's stronger, or any other techniques or methods to actually heal it. So he just said polysporin's the way to go, and he said the triple polysporin is much better. I knew that I would need polysporin. I have a friend who's actually coming by to give me some polysporin soon. She's going to be dropping that off around 4 o'clock. Right now it's 3:30. So that's my next step. Get some polysporin on that, wrap it up, get some new shoes, and start walking again.
Patting my shoes and wrapping my wounds really helped to avoid further damage to my feet and allowed me to walk to the pharmacy without causing any harm. I was glad that the storm had passed and I was able to get around. However, I was in no shape to be walking a long stretch again until I was able to get new footwear. After I got back to my motel room, it wasn't long until Angel arrived with some well-needed medical supplies to help stop the infection in the wounds.
I'm good.
Long time no see.
It has been. How's your bobo?
Good. Yeah, sorry I'm filming you, but it's a reality show, you know what I mean? So.
Oh, okay, all right. So I'll try and act natural.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
I
cool.
brought some stuff for your bobos that I've been reading about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some
That's
hydrogen
amazing.
peroxide and some polysporin and Band-Aids.
Huh.
So, yeah.
Wowza.
These ones are especially for feet too. So hopefully that works.
Oh yeah, healing bandages.
She wanted to, make sure that I could get on to the next spot, but she also wanted to make sure that I had the supplies that I needed without spending any of the money that I had, because the money that I did have was very little and I wasn't expecting any donations. I didn't know if I would be getting any donations to help me be able to buy footwear or any other supplies that I would need along the way. So I was very thankful that my friend Zoe from the Toronto area was able to help me out with getting a new pair of shoes, as well as Angel was able to give me some medical supplies to help clean up my feet. Because when I went to the pharmacy earlier, they told me they recommended polysporin, which is quite expensive, and if I would have bought the polysporin at the store, I wouldn't have had any money left. I would have had maybe $1 or $2 left. So it was really great that Angel was able to bring me some polysporin and some antiseptic band-aids, as well as the rubbing alcohol, so that I could clean my feet up and get ready for the road, because I knew that the next day I'd have to be out of my hotel room again at 11 a.m. and I'd have to hit the road at that point.
It's time to clean the wound. Let's see if I can handle this without screaming.
Let's hope.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it over the bathtub though, because just for the spillage and all that stuff. I don't know if you can see that, but
Oh yeah.
okay.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. I'm waiting for this.
That's
I'll
terrible.
get the outside first.
Oh.
Yeah, see
It's
it's
gonna
fizzing up
bubble.
already. Yeah. Ooh, look at
Oh, look at that. Jesus, Murphix. Ah. I'm lucky I've had kids. This doesn't faze me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, is this gonna gross you out?
No.
I'm like, oh wait, yeah, you're a mother.
I've had kids. There we
Yeah.
go. So I think you
didn't
just
burn
let
right
it go
away.
like that, and then you'll just have to let it dab it or something with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna dab it after.
And then maybe, yeah, give it some time to air out, and then put that poly on.
So yeah, now I gotta get the other one.
Oh yeah, there's another one. There's another one. Ah, that one's not as big. It's not so huge twin.
There we go.
It's neat the way it bubbles up though.
Yeah, it's a good sign.
Yeah.
You can see my ankle's a bit bruised there.
Yeah.
Bit of bruising.
Yeah.
But it's all good, like it's just because I don't walk a lot.
Yeah,
So
clearly.
I gotta get used to it and then my body will build up.
It will.
I've walked a lot before, so I'm gonna use this after and make sure that it's all healed up and then wrap it up good. Put a bandage on it.
Yeah.
And should be good. I'm gonna let it sit, and then I gotta get new shoes and pad them up and make sure that there's no more rubbing, it doesn't get worse. And then they'll be good for walking.
Yeah.
Next stop, North Bay.
After I cleaned up my wounds, I talked with Angel for a bit about the reasons I was doing the March of Freedom and some of the conversations I had with people so far on the journey. It was great to sit down and talk about some of the problems in the world, as well as some of the solutions to these problems. It was a great conversation.
Everybody I've talked to so far on this journey, they've all said to me I've tried to have conversations with them about, what they think about things. Do they see that there could be a different way? Do they think that the different way is better? All sorts of things. And some of the things they talk about is like cancer research, just money, the division that causes human rights, all sorts of things. But the main thing that people are onto nowadays, I'm finding, is like free energy and stuff too. A lot of people are realizing that you don't have to pay a hydro bill if you have a solar panel or anything like that. Just some sort of generating power device in your home that you buy once and you don't have to pay a hydro bill again. But the hydro companies are like, they don't like that.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Don't they have like the price like right sky high too for solar stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to even get it. So.
Yeah, they make it impossible to get.
Yeah, for the average person.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's crazy though, because people need to know this. That's why I'm doing it. One thing I'm noticing along this way is everybody I talk to, they say that their problem is money. Everybody. It all stems to money.
It is, yeah.
People don't have problems with other people unless it's money.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this person owes me money, or he didn't pay the bills, or he didn't do this or that.
Yeah, money makes the world go round.
Yeah.
Apparently.
That's what they say. But I think people make the world go round.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, it should be.
For sure.
It should be, but
cheers to
not
that.
so much.
Cheers to public power.
Yeah.
After our conversation and a drink that Corey and Bobby left for me in the fridge, Angel went back home to her family, and I spent a couple of hours networking and checking some maps and distances for future destinations. I wanted to utilize the Wi-Fi connection at the motel as much as possible before venturing into the unknown the following day. I was not sure what to expect, but if it was anything like the first 50 kilometers, I was in for some troubled waters. I spent the day today recouping. I went to the pharmacy just to ask them some questions about my wounds, and a friend stopped over with some supplies to help me heal up my feet, which is really awesome. I was online keeping people updated on what was going on, and I was working on some videos and stuff like that, just organizing everything, so it was a pretty productive day in that manner. And it's 9:30 right now, 9:30 p.m. And I'm thinking that since I'm at the hotel and I got a nice comfy bed, I might as well rest it up. So I'm gonna probably hit the hay early tonight just to rest. Hopefully I can sleep though, because it's been really hard to sleep because there's so much on my mind and so much stuff going on. But sleeping is important. You gotta try to do it. So I'm definitely gonna hit the hay early tonight and rest it up, because I gotta be out of here by 11 a.m. tomorrow. I gotta leave then, and then I gotta go on my way out of town, stop, buy new shoes. So that's gonna be a task and a half, and the earlier I go to bed tonight, the earlier I'll be able to get up in the morning. So I guess it's bonne nuit for me.